What's up everybody, JJ here, and with Halloween just around the corner, I've got a series of decorations for you. It's not showing up just right. There we go. These are the Halloween decorations we're going to be talking about today. And they look so good in a dimly lit room. But so you could be able to see me, I'm going to turn the lights back on. Yes, Halloween is right around the corner, but there's still time to make some amazing decorations for your house, for a costume, and I wanted to go through and show you some of my favorite prints I've made this year. Little disclaimer, these are all found on Thingiverse or Thangs.com. I don't own these prints, so I can't sell them to you, and me showing you them, that doesn't mean you can sell them. You need to buy the rights from the creators if you want to sell them to other people, but they're free to print for your own personal use. I'm just showing off these amazing creators and the things that they've designed. But a big reason I like 3D printing my own decorations is that you can change them. You can decide whatever color or size you want for these prints. For example, I've got a couple different sizes. If you want a different size, you just scale it up in your slicer. If you want a different color, I've got a purple tree here. The original designer might not have thought this should be used in purple, but I wanted purple, so I printed in purple. And you can use whatever color you like for your designs. So it offers a great versatility for being creative in your prints and your decorations. So I created little categories to section off the different prints for what they're used for. First off is home decorations. Home doesn't have to be a house, it could be an apartment, condo, wherever you're living, you can decorate with 3D prints. First off is this Halloween stump candle. It's just a stump that someone cut a face in, and I've had this sitting on my desk where I work all October, and I just love looking at it. Also, these little tea lights that I bought just a multi-pack on Amazon. I'll link it down below. And they're nice, cheap, simple. You get a bunch of them for a great price, and it works for a bunch of prints. Like this one is perfectly made for these little tea lights. They're not amazing tea lights. I don't think they're gonna last forever, but they work great as temporary cheap lights. I also love printing this one in purple. It's nice and funky, and also that it's a silky filament. It adds a lot of reflections and texture in the bark of this tree since it is such a detailed print. Next up for decoration, I had to take this one off the wall. This is a Frankenstein's light switch. It's got this big pulley mechanism to flip the switch on. This one is a really great model. They've got several different designs for single switch or double, triple switch options. And the switching mechanism feels really good. This is a very stringy print because I used an old wood PLA that I had laying around, and I didn't calibrate the stringing for this wood PLA, so there's a lot of stringing coming off of it. But that kind of adds to the character. It makes you feel like every time you're turning on a light, you're giving something life, which is kind of fun. These aren't any officially UL rated light switch covers, so I wouldn't use them year round, but putting them on for October is a fun little decoration to put up, but I just wouldn't recommend always using them on your light switches. Another situation where you can print whatever you want. I put this gold handle on here. I thought it was a fun blingy look to it. You could put silver, you could put gray, black, whatever you want. For the actual plate, I used a wood PLA because I thought it would look more wood-like. But you could use a dark brown, you could use purple for this. Really, whatever color you want, spice it up, make it your own. The next print is called a Gothic light switch. I ran out of the purple PLA after I printed the base. I thought there'd be enough for the whole thing. Turns out it wasn't, so I had to reprint the top in this white PLA. But the top simply slides off. You can pop the light out, put it in there. This one is printed at 50% size of the original. So the original was quite large, but this 50% size works pretty well for a single tea light in there. This can be used in several different ways. You could put it on an end table or on your desk, or you could hang it up. If you're going for a Harry Potter theme and you want some floating lights, simply tie some fishing line to this. You could paint the fishing line with a black Sharpie, that makes it disappear, and you've got floating lights. Or if you're going that full 3D printed route, you could print out some 3D printed chain and chain this up, and that's another unique look you can go with. It's a really intricate design here, and such a cool model. Another great home decor one, a little more on the creepy side, is this reaching hand model. It's really accurate to my hand size, so it feels like another hand. All the veins and details are here, and it's got mounting on the back. You could put nails, or it's designed for just thumbtacks that you could just simply thumbtack them into the wall, and you've got some creepy hands coming out to you. You could use them as simply decorations, or you could mount it upside down, have it holding some candy for you, or holding gift bags on here. Or there's so many other great uses for this. If you ever need an extra hand, You can just print one now. The next general category I wanted to cover is pumpkins, and there are some great designs out there. This one is the Makeys pumpkin, and there's so many different iterations of this one. I didn't have an orange PLA, so I printed it in yellow, and then again in red. This red one fits on this Bulbasaur base, and this witch's hat is a different mod for it. They all simply clip together like this, and you can pop them off. You can use this as your own decoration, or pop it on the Bulbasaur. I was disappointed that my tea lights are too big and don't fit inside there, but I'm sure if you scaled this up or got smaller tea lights, then they would fit together. And there were so many other great pumpkin and jack-o'-lantern options out there. There were too many to print. Just type in pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns, and there are so many amazing designs out there. On to the creepy side of skulls. Well, instead of getting anatomical with your skulls, you can print something fun, like a Lego skeleton's head. This one is a great model because you can scale it up so many times. I think this bottom one was 500%, and this top one maybe was 250% size. The model is really good, and I've seen examples of scaling this up way larger. You could print the entire skeleton, or in this case I just printed some skulls. I really love these, they're nice and fun. If you're going for the more anatomical version, this one is found on Thangs. It is a flame skull, way closer to an anatomical skull, but it is print in place with no supports. There was a little bit of issues with the cheekbones, still came out great. Great model. It's covered in these flame designs. It's such a cool one. I printed in this silk red PLA, and it's so cool to see the reflections just bouncing off in all the different ways. But with Halloween coming up quickly, a great way to make things fast is using vase mode. The setting is also called Spiralized Outer Contour if you're using Cura, and it makes large prints very fast by using a single line of filament around the outside. It's not a super sturdy print, but it's a decoration. It's not a functional print. This isn't supposed to hold something up. It sits there and looks good. I have been using it as a trash can next to my printer. It's so nice to have little bits of stringing filament, and I just toss it in there. I printed it in this clear filament, so I put a couple tea lights in there, and you can see it glowing pretty well. And since this prints so quickly and doesn't use much filament, you could print a bunch of these very quickly, and it doesn't use up too much filament. On to ghosts. I printed 2 different models this year. This one is called Cute Hug Me Ghost, and I printed 2 different sizes. I think this is full size and 75% size. Both of them fit on top of the tea lights really well and glow. They're great for sitting on your desk and in table. But these also, you could string them up in other ways. Definitely a fun little print. Another fun print that I printed several different sizes. This is a Pac-Man ghost. They fit perfectly on top of the tea light and glow. I printed options with 1 wall and 2 walls. 1 wall does show some of the supports inside, so that's why I printed 2 walls for this one. This is 25% size. I think this one was 50% size. The original model is really big, so you can make them nice and large. This is single wall with clear filament, so you can see the supports inside. I wouldn't recommend clear on this print since you do need to use infill, and the infill will just show right through. Use a solid filament for this one, but you could also use any color you want with this one. I just had white on the printer, so I printed out a bunch of white ones. And I like this little glowing ghost army I've got here. The next category I'm calling just cute things, because Halloween doesn't have to be creepy, and you can make your decorations whatever you want. The first print is this flexible cat. I love printing flexible prints. It's a great way to show off the ability of a 3D printer, because it can just print in place all these hinges of a part. And this one is just a black cat, but they remixed it by putting this witch's hat on there, and it makes it so cute. This one is great for Halloween, and any flexible prints, I'm always a fan of those. It's so fascinating how all these little hinges just work like this, and if you haven't printed any print-in-place flexible prints, I would highly recommend looking them up. There are so many great ones out there. The next cute one, since I didn't get to print and I wanted to make this video before Halloween gets here, is a baby Yoda holding a jack-o'-lantern. So cute, such an amazingly high detailed model. That's why it takes so long to print, because there's so much detail in the model. It's such an amazing print, but it does take a while to print, and I had to get all of these other prints done for this video. But if you're looking for a cute Halloween baby Yoda, this is the one for you. It's also another example of how great the 3D printing community is, that this amazing model was created and released for free just to be made for personal use. The next category is so broad I couldn't print out examples, but it covers costumes. 3D printing is an amazing way to add an accessory or two to any costume you're making. If you're going as Harry Potter and your wand broke, just print a new one. You're going as a Trekkie and your communicator badge didn't show up in time, just print a new one. Going as Wolverine and need some retractable claws, just print some off. There's amazing designs for most costumes out there. Another amazing part of 3D printing is how quickly designs can be made and then you can print them at home. So as soon as things become popular, there's usually prints being put out online way before a company could manufacture costumes and put them in stores. One great example is the recent Squid Game show. There's so many great models on Thingiverse. I've never seen the show, so I can't say which ones are accurate or not, but way before a company could manufacture costumes and put them in stores, there's already models and people printing out those models for this coming Halloween. Another great design I found this year was Loki horns. These are going to be Loki horns for our cat and dog. We thought, even if we don't go with that as a final costume for them, it'll be a cute little design and we'll take some cute pictures with them. But instead of hoping that a company would make horns for a cat and a dog that would fit our cat and dog, you can just print them off in whatever size works for you. I use this gold silk PLA and it looks really good. Well, this list ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be, but when I started printing designs this year, I knew there were so many things I just couldn't leave off the list. And even with it being as long as it is, I know there's some amazing models I missed, so if you have some amazing prints that you're printing this year, mention them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm sure other people would love to get some great ideas from the community. Now, I hope you have some amazing ideas for Halloween, but before you go off to print, one thing I ask in return is that if you found this video useful, hit that like button down below. It lets other people know that this video is worth their time to watch, and it helps me out so much as well. But anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing day out there. Go create something awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.